So hello and welcome to this first Better Bleeps video in this Better Bleeps series of patch tips and tricks, music theory, tuition-y type stuff. And in this video we're going to take a single oscillator and turn it into this hybrid drum machine groovebox. So let's check out what's to come. Now all of that is coming from that single Danisound EN129 oscillator. There's VCAs, filtering, modulation, rhythmic stuff going on. You do need a lot of help to make a single oscillator a whole kind of groove box within itself, with a kind of kick, clap, bass line, multi-layer thing that we've got going on. So this video came from the demo from the EN129. I have a lot of videos to come, a lot of patch tips. If you want to see any different patch tips or you've got your own ideas you'd like me to present, comment below, we can get into it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
And I'm going to break down this patch and show you how I got to this kind of groove box, quirky drum machine type vibe from a single oscillator. So first, let's remove the modulation. So at the minute, you're listening to the sine wave output. This is simply going into a VCA with an envelope controlling it. Now a lot of this is out of sight in terms of the shot on the camera, but they're quite simple things and simple concepts, and the modules themselves aren't too important. It's more about what I've chosen to do with them. Now if you listen to the envelope shaping on this VCA, maybe a little easier if I go to a triangle wave, you can hear that the envelope shape's changing. Very tight, fast attack, quite clicky. Good for percussion, but the release time and the decay, the falling side of the envelope, is modulated. So by using an envelope where we can voltage control the shape and the time, this means that we can get some more interesting, dynamic and more expressive movement. So it's already quite percussive, but kind of sounds more like a bass line. And if we're designing, say, kick drum sounds, we tend to get an envelope into the pitch or the FM input on an oscillator to create a really fast drop in pitch, which gives us this kind of click and punch of a kick drum. I'm going to do that by using the logarithmic FM input. I'm going to go back to a sine. And by using two different gate rhythms, I can have some sounds more aggressive, clicky, bass drum-like, by them exciting the FM and shaping it to create this drum sound, while other sounds that are in between don't. So it's already kind of a hybrid bass line, bass drum thing going on. Now I thought I could just add a clap or a snare or some noise that I shape through a VCA to create an auxiliary drum sound. But I thought let's try and do it with this. So if I inject some noise into this through zero FM input, we can get some added noise overtones, which are great for creating snare and clap-like sounds. However, this noise is already shaped. I don't just want to pump noise straight into the module. And I'll show you why. If I plug this straight in, lots of overtones to go out, but it's a bit full on. So if I first patch that noise through a VCA, that VCA is being triggered by a separate gate rhythm, opening up an envelope, controlling the VCA. And you can see in here, this is kind of the equivalent of being on beats 2 and 4. So this single oscillator on the single sine out, this one we're not using yet, is giving me a kind of bass sound through a VCA, a kick sound when the envelope opens up the FM, and an additional snare-like tone when the noise is kind of blasted in to the through zero FM input. This works well on the triangle as well. And it's already like a kind of little analog groove box thing going on. Now the secondary sound, which creates a kind of additional rich bass line and some texture and depth, is the saw wave output. If I open up the filter that this is going into, nothing's controlling the amplitude of this, it's just going straight into a filter, and I have an LFO opening and closing the cutoff. Add some reverb. And we've got kind of depth, background, richer synth tone. Put it against the sine wave sound. So that's just two outputs from this Danny Sound oscillator, creating kind of bass sound, a kick when an envelope hits, a snare when I fire some noise in that's already shaped by a VCA, the saw waves coming out, having its shape modulated, create this additional bass line. Single oscillator, lots of fun, just a little patch that I wanted to share with everyone. Hope that's been useful and given you some ideas for patching up your own modules, be it this Danny Sound oscillator or any of the other modules and techniques I've shown in this video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.